Hey, in this video, we're going to discuss a little bit about St. Louis real estate investors, whether it's a local investor, a regional investor, or even corporate investors. There are many types of investors in the St. Louis area, as you may well know. They all do different things. You have your insiders who are the local investors, and obviously your outsiders that come in and invest in this particular region. Hey, before you do anything, make sure you like this video. I would appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to this channel as well. So in our area, in the St. Louis area, like I said, there's many types of investors, and in our area, especially the local investors. The local investors, they're a unique group of people, and they all have different styles, but the main, or one of the main styles that I usually see is an investor that loves to fix properties and flip the properties. Those investors are, a lot of the times, are do-it-yourselfers. Those are the investors that put in a whole lot of time by going in themselves and renovating and things of that nature. And I'm sure many of them use contractors as well, but you have some that like to go in there and get their hands dirty and pick up a property for a nice price, and after they're finished, the property is awesome. It's awesome looking, and that's cool. We deal with many of those type of investors in the local area that sign up for our email list, and we've started some good relationships with a lot of local investors here in the St. Louis, Missouri area. But the local real estate investor, like I said, they're very prideful. They're very prideful, and they're very select in what they purchase and how they do things. And maybe I can attribute some of that to some of that attention to detail. To, I mean, you obviously it's going to be a individual type thing, but I can attribute a lot of that to funds. And maybe the funds are not, they're not full of how should I put it? Not saying they don't have a lot of money, but those type of investors a lot of times like to use banks. Some may even use hard money lenders or whatnot. So their era, or their attention to detail is attributed to that, and they have a thin line when it comes to making errors. So they don't want to make a whole lot of errors because it might cost them money. It cost them a lot of money. So I can understand that, and I'm always appreciative of our local investors in our area. So, and like I said, that's not the only investor in our area. We have you also have the regional investors. These are investors that they move from, or they focus on a particular region. So it may be a thing where I'll give you an example, where they make real estate investments here in the St. Louis area. They also have operations in the Kansas City area. They may have operation in the northeast and northwest section of the state, and so on and so forth. Regional investors, they also may have operations going on in other states. Like here in St. Louis, we border Illinois, so I would imagine some of those investors scoot and go in the Illinois area as well. So the regional investor, I would imagine most of their funding is probably either private based, or if it's operation where a company was built by a particular person or whatnot, maybe they use banks, or maybe they're self-funded. So but regional investors, there's a lot of them as well that invest in the St. Louis area. So maybe a situation where, like I say, it's a multi-state deal for them, and they just focus in a, I don't know, a 3-state area, or maybe a 4-state area, and that's just where they stay. You know, they have no intentions on expanding, and they just focus on a particular area and make a lot of money, and very successful doing so. And you also have corporate. You also have your corporate, or what I deem as your corporate investor. And those are, you have banks that buy and purchase properties as well. And they put up a lot of money because they have the money to do so. So the thing about corporate investors, or when banks come in and they buy property, since I'm not sure how much homework they do, but just looking at different documents on either the city, when I'm down at City Hall, or when I'm on the county website and I run up on a property and I see that it's owned by, let's say, Bank of America, I can pretty much tell that they have money to burn, because the money that they spend to buy these properties a lot of times are not at a discount, and they just have the funds to buy it. And you know, sometimes they even sell those properties for cheaper than they actually buy them for. I've seen that several times. I don't understand the process or why they do that from time to time. So maybe it's an individual or a separate situation where banks buy properties here in the St. Louis area for a cheap price. Well, not necessarily a cheap price, but I wouldn't say a high end. I would say I've seen banks buy like 3-bedroom, 2-bath properties in I would say let's say the Hazelwood area, and you can get a good 3.2 in that area. Might run you, I guess if it's all fixed up, the after repair value would be somewhere in the 90,000 range, and maybe it's a distressed home or something. And I've seen banks buy those up for like 70,000. So maybe they're buying below the ARV, but sometimes they sell those properties for like 50,000, like a couple of months later. I don't know why they do it. You know, I'm sure they have their reasons, but those are your corporate investors. You also have hedge funds that come in different areas. Now they might go in any different cities depending on who's running that fund. They might go to cities just all over the United States and just buy up property and buy and buy at a discount, and have their team set up to, you know, have their contractors set up to go in and fix this stuff up. And what they do a lot of times is flip the property, or a lot of them rent properties out. So they buy and hold and rent those properties out here in the St. Louis area. So I've seen that several times where hedge funds come in and they buy properties at a discount and fix them up. So there's all type of investors in the St. Louis area. So St. Louis real estate investors are great. Doesn't matter which level they're on, whether they're on a local level or regional level or corporate level, buying properties here in the St. Louis, Missouri area. Hey, we encourage you, if you are one of those type investors in the St. Louis area looking to buy properties, we source properties and we market to people who need to sell their home. And what we do is we link up with cash buyers here in the St. Louis area. If you go to our website at St. Louis Wholesale Real Estate, that's STL. So not exactly St. Louis, it's not spelled that way, but our company is St. Louis Wholesale Real Estate Properties, but our website is STLWholesaleRE.com. That's STLWholesaleRE.com, and you can sign up for our buyers list, so our VIP buyers list. So when we get properties, we send them out on our buyers list. Also, if you purchase from us and you're buying multiple homes a month, and we establish a relationship with you, obviously we're going to ask, hey, what type of properties, or you'll get that on one of the auto respond broadcast that we send out that automatically comes when you sign up for our email list, where we ask you some questions about how many properties do you buy and all that. So obviously, if we establish a relationship with you, we will go out and source the exact type of properties that you're looking to buy. If you buy multiple properties or looking to buy multiple properties here in the St. Louis, Missouri area. So if you are a St. Louis real estate investor, go to stlwholesalere.com. Also, if you look down in the description, you'll see our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page at facebook.com/St. Louis Wholesale Properties. So facebook.com St. Louis Wholesale Properties. Make sure you like our Facebook page, also our Twitter page as well. Follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is STL Wholesale RE. So kind of like our website, STLWHOLESALERE. That's our Twitter handle. So follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Please like this video. Hope you like the content that we're putting out. Depending on when you're watching this video, we're going to try to pump out content daily. I'm going to try to do a video daily up until a certain point. And once we get to a certain point, you may be watching this video once we get to a certain point, but we will continue to put out content, at least a video a week. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hey, I appreciate you watching and hanging in there and sticking with me for this long period of time. So if you're a St. Louis real estate investor or looking to invest here in the St. Louis metropolitan area, hey, go to our website and sign up for our email list at stlwholesalere.com. If you want a link, look in the description. We'll have a link for you. Thank you, and hey, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.